From the Caribbean News Desk, the morning edition. Good morning. I'm Denis Chabrol.
And I'm Kendol Morgan with the latest from across the Caribbean.
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That's the common message from disaster agencies across the Eastern Caribbean as the chain of islands prepares for the dangerous and still strengthening Hurricane Beryl, which is forecast to hit landfall this morning. National emergency bodies in Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and Grenadines, and Trinidad and Tobago held extended meetings over the weekend, most chaired by their respective prime ministers. On their recommendation, residents have been flocking to the supermarkets, stocking up on dried foods and water, and in some cases making last-minute repairs to homes. Fishermen have also been pulling their boats to high ground against the threat of major storm surges. Hurricane Beryl has developed into a destructive Category 4 hurricane, which forecasters say is carrying life-threatening winds and storm surges.
Grenada, which has had the experience of being devastated by one of the most powerful hurricanes on record, last night declared a state of emergency for the entire country. Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell says it is for 7 days but will be adjusted as necessary.
Except for security forces, the police, prison officers, essential services workers, and other emergency personnel, no one will be expected to be on the roadways, and no one will be expected to be outside of their homes or a shelter, as the case may be. This is necessary to safeguard your life, to safeguard your limb, to safeguard our collective property and security.
Prime Minister Mitchell, who was scheduled to host a CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Grenada from this Wednesday to Friday, has announced that it has been cancelled.
In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, government offices and businesses are also closed today. The electricity is scheduled to be turned off this morning. At least one carnival event has been cancelled, and the main Coast Guard vessel, Hugh Mulzac, has been sent to dock in Antigua. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves cautioned residents to look after their welfare as they brace for the dangerous Beryl.
This hurricane will blow off a lot of roofs. This hurricane will damage a lot of buildings, a lot of equipment, so we have to do our best to secure them. To tell you how seriously this matter is, and how seriously I am taking it, not only as Prime Minister, but for myself personally and my immediate family. The official residence, this was built a long time ago. The roof, certainly the old part of the roof, may not survive winds at 115 miles per hour. I am making preparations to go downstairs.
The St. Lucia government ordered a full shutdown of the country from last night in preparation for this morning's passage of Beryl. Prime Minister Philip Japere.
The country will remain closed, and please remain indoors until the all clear is given. Businesses and schools will remain closed on Monday, and employers are expected to cooperate.
Northern Trinidad and the island of Tobago are also bracing for some impact from Beryl's heavy winds and rain. Disaster and government officials are concerned there's a strong likelihood of flooding, especially in areas already waterlogged from other passing weather systems. Works and Transport Minister Rohan Senanan.
We do anticipate a significant amount of rainfall, and obviously our infrastructure will be challenged. So we do expect flooding, especially in the low-lying areas. What we ask is that, we try to refrain from entering into these low-lying areas because, as mentioned before, the saturation on our soils have already taken place.
Besides its residents, Barbados is looking to support the many cricket fans who have not yet left the island following Saturday's Cricket World Cup final hosted at its iconic Kensington Oval. Prime Minister Mia Mottley has urged Barbadians to be special hosts, especially to those who may not have experienced hurricanes before.
Some of them have never gone through a hurricane or a storm before. We met with the BHTA, and we therefore are conscious that we have plans to take care of them. But I ask each Bajan to be conscious that with as many visitors on island, that we now want each Bajan to be that best host that they can be, and to take care of persons, particularly those who may be anxious about what a hurricane involves and what happens in a storm.
In Guyana, incumbent Mr. Aubrey Norton is all set to be declared a leader of the People's National Congress reform. That's because the two other candidates formally pulled out of the process, citing irregularities in the nomination process. More than 2,000 party delegates were up till late Sunday afternoon voting for who they would like to see become members of the PNCR's 15-member Central Executive Committee. This has been the Morning Edition from the Caribbean News Desk. You may contact us by phone or WhatsApp on +592 700 9293. Thanks for listening.